So what we did before is like, of course, we already generated like an attribute, right? We already had this curve view attribute across our curve that what we generated with the resample down there of way up there. So what we can do is make let's just do a wrangle for this one. Let's set some p-scales, and we have this curve view, which is 0 to 1. And if it's 0 to 1 space, we can put it in a ramp. And then if we put it in a ramp, we have some control, right, over where are we going to gather points, where are we, like how big are they going to be. Let's just do the scales first. So let's say f at p scale, so float at float p scale, f p scale equals channel ramp, so ch ramp scale, and let's do it on the curve view. All right. Close bracket. Let's press create. So you can see we get a ramp now. You can see this is going to be the same as our curve view. So if we're now going to have a look at this thing. So this is obviously inverted. So now they're very small down the bottom and they're very big down there. So we don't want that. We probably want something more along these lines. Maybe. And let's make a multiplier here as well. So let's just say p scale times equals channel float multiply. Right. So we have an extra control here for the scale. So something like that. And maybe we want a little bit less of these things. So that looks pretty good. So let's, I guess, set with this thing, say it's going to be our p scale. Now let's copy and paste this thing. And with this one, let's just keep our ramp. Let's say f, so let's say just maybe f at scatter. Or this is maybe say emit, maybe it makes more sense. I'm not sure if scatter is the default attribute, I don't think so. Say scatter. Now we have an attribute called scatter with our ramp. And in our scatter here, we can say density attribute scatter. And oh, it's not scatter, emit. All right. So now we have this ramp. You see now we can sort of control where our points are scattered. So we don't want anything down below. For some reason it's scattering one point way down there. If you don't want, we can just blast that away, I guess. So I'm just gonna blast the 0th point. Is it 0th? Oh, it's the 5th point. Then we're gonna sort points. We're gonna say a reverse point. So then this one is gonna be the 0th one. So I'm inverting the point count. Oh, no, it's still not the 0th one. Okay, then I'm just gonna do something else. Then I'm just gonna say if p.y, so the y position is below, let's say, so 1, remove point. 0, first input, and the current point number. All right. So that's gonna delete that one. Magnifique. All right. So let's just have a look. Okay, so we probably want them to be distributed to be a little bit lower. So let's call this remove. We're probably gonna, of course, gonna tweak this whenever we're gonna. Okay, this one is disappearing there. Does it have to do with this, or does it? Okay, so I think we have a problem here, maybe. Let's just try. Okay, so we cannot really use this because this seems to be jumping around too much. So maybe what we want to do differently is, let's say, let's just curl them like we did here, and then just scatter them like that. Let's make this a remove. All right. So we're gonna have a slider where we're gonna be deleting them, and we're just gonna have control here, and then this one is gonna be curl to curl the bottom part. Let's call this curling. All right. So I think this should work. Let's see. So look. Still some stuff. Okay, so that doesn't work. Then we're gonna say if curve U is below, because our curve U should remain standard. Still having some issues. So I'm gonna figure out what's going on here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it another way. We're just gonna use a carve. So just put down a carve. Let's remove our culling. And with the carve, we're just gonna carve out the spline in the beginning. And now everything works perfect. All right, so this works quite okay. Let's change our P scales a little bit. We could randomize this a little bit if we wanted to. We could do an attribute randomize and just say P scale and do say multiply the existing value. I'm gonna just say 0.8. Right. Just gonna randomize it a little bit. Right, so that's quite cool. Now, what we want to do is let's work a little bit more on our rolling out secondary curves, and then let's learn how we can sort of time offset these based on what we're doing here.